Hey guys, you know what I've noticed a lot of recently in the comments and on social media is people claiming that we don't unbox enough boxes here at Hardware Unboxed. So today we have another episode of unboxing boxes, and I actually have a lot of boxes. I can't fit them all in frame right now. They don't all fit on the desk. We've got quite a lot to go over, so this is probably going to be one of the longer unboxing boxes episodes, so hopefully that makes up for the lack of episodes over the last few months. I don't even know when the last one was. But anyway, we've got so much to do, I think I should just get into it. So I'll get out my trusty knife and we're ready to unbox. Goes that way, doesn't it? Alright, we'll start with this one right in front of me because, you know, that makes sense. And we'll see what we have here to get us started. First box, what do we have here apart from the usual packing foam and things? Oh look, it's an RTX 3080. It looks like it's the Gigabyte Gaming OC version. So that's quite exciting. Quite exciting, I think. And we have just a 3090. I'm probably not as excited as I probably should look for products like these. Very awesome graphics cards here. Unfortunately, availability and stuff is still pretty garbage for these. So you guys are probably sick of seeing reviewers talk about RTX 3090s and 3080s, but we do it in the hope that at some point relatively soon you'll actually be able to buy these if you want to. But also it's good to get a good database of all these cards because obviously we have AMD's answer coming up shortly, so it'll be good to have quite a few cards on hand. Anyway, I do want to look at, we'll take one out. We'll take one out. I think both of these use, it looks like they both have pretty much the same cooler on them. So we'll quickly take out the 3080, have a look at it, and then we'll move on to the next box because there's not too much I can really talk about. Obviously, I will be providing, hang on. Obviously, I'll be providing reviews of these cards, so you'll get all the details about the cooler and performance and overclocking, all that stuff in the review. But here is a very brief look at the card. One of the lighter RTX 3080s I've picked up. Don't actually know what the exact weight is, but it definitely feels a lot lighter than the Gaming X Trio and the Strix version, and of course the Founders Edition model. Anyway, one of the lighter cards, so that doesn't necessarily mean it won't be a good performer, because there's more to it than just the weight of the card. Quite a nice looking backplate. We've got an extra HDMI port like what we see with the Asus cards, so that's good. But yeah, and it looks like we've got a dual BIOS as well, so some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, that's the card. You've seen it now. I'll put it away and we'll move on to the next thing. You can expect to see reviews, independent reviews, so a dedicated video for this one and a dedicated video for this one on the channel, hopefully next week. I've got quite a bit to do, but I would like to get these out of the way, so that'll be my plan, my goal, to get that done next week. We'll move them aside for now and we'll move on to the next box. What should we go with next? I guess we might as well get this stuff out of the way and then we'll get to that. We'll do it that way, I suppose. All right, next box here. Actually, I think I just saw something there. You ready? Yeah, that says EVGA. I wonder what that could be. This is actually kind of a big deal. I'll explain why in a moment. I think it's an RTX 3080 again. Yep. So yet another RTX 3080. Sorry about this, guys. But this one I am quite excited about because this is the first ever, I think it's the first ever EVGA sample I've ever been sent in the 20-something years I've been doing this job. And we've been running the Hardware Unboxed channel now for like 4 years or something like that. And yeah, first one ever. So for those that missed it, I reached out to EVGA on Twitter because a lot of you were asking me to review their cards, and Jacob replied saying, sure, we'll send you over a sample. So we've got that now. I suppose I should probably take it and have a look at it because I've never seen one of these firsthand. I've only got one EVGA graphics card. It's a Pascal card, and I've got that because I bought it. Anyway, I didn't buy it to review the actual card. I reviewed it because I wanted to look at something many years ago. Okay, so this is a slightly heavier slightly heavier card when compared to the Gigabyte one. Holy moly, that is just an absolutely massive looking heatsink. The fin spacing looks quite different to the MSI and Asus models, I think. Really nice looking backplate. Yeah, this is a really solid looking card. I'll take the protective plastic off and we'll get a really good look at it. So anyway, there is another RTX 3080. Just what I'm sure you guys wanted to see. Now, it is very exciting. As I said, I'm very, very excited to be checking out my first ever EVGA card properly anyway with a dedicated review. So again, I don't know when this is going to be on the channel because, yeah, we have a lot of content to squeeze in, and we've also got obviously the RTX 3070 coming up in just over a week, I think. So yeah, anyway, I will prioritize this because I'm very keen to check it out. But we'll put it away for now and we'll move on to the next box. It's a bit of a high class problem, I know, having too many RTX 3080s to review, but it is quite a bit of work reviewing these cards. Certainly not complaining, but yeah, it's not just free graphics cards falling out of the heavens for me to play games on. We'll do this box here. I think I know what this one is as well. So, alright. You guys aren't going to be able to guess what's in here. Oh, hang on. We're seeing some green. What could it be, guys? What could be in this bubble wrap? There's simply no way you'll be able to guess. I'm also very, very excited about this one as well. We're definitely going to take a look at this. So, this is the Palit GameRock 3080. So yes, it is another RTX 3080, but this is one I've also been very keen to get my hands on. All right, we'll try and open this together. I need a top-down camera, don't I? In my new studio, I will have that, which hopefully I'll have sometime early next year. Anyway, whoa! I don't know I don't know quite what we're looking at here. I suspect this is a graphics card that you really have to plug in to fully appreciate the design. Certainly something quite different. So the back plate just has, there's a whole lot of something going on there. The cutout here is kind of cool. But yeah. So this reminds me of, what is it? It's the G-Skill, is it the Royal Memory? I forget now. There's so many different types. But anyway, I know there's some G-Skill memory that sort of has this almost crystallized kind of design. So I imagine there's RGB LEDs embedded somewhere in there, and that lights this all up. You're really going to want to mount it sort of, what is it, horizontally in your case, because that is going to look, well, interesting. I don't know. We'll have to plug it in and have a look. I don't know if I'll get time to do that for the unboxing boxes segment, but you'll see that in the dedicated review. I'll certainly get some nice B-roll of this installed in my test system. But yeah, decent looking cooler on it. Quite a well-designed looking card, really. Standard sort of I/O configuration though, same as what you'll find on the FE model. But anyway, another RTX 3080, so I'll squeeze that in somewhere into our schedule. No idea when or where, but we'll do our best. Next week might be the week of the RTX 3080 and 3090 AIB reviews. Obviously Tim will have some other content, but that might be all I'm working on next week because I have to move on to other stuff. And yeah, as you can tell, we've got a few of these to go over. Anyway, that is a very, very interesting looking graphics card. I'll stick it down there with my pile of RTX graphics cards. Corsair. What has Corsair got for us? If this is indeed a Corsair product, sometimes we get a bit trolled by the companies sending out their products at other brands' boxes or distributors doing that. But no, this is a Corsair product. Okay, so that's the wrong way around. That is the right way around. So this is their new all-in-one liquid cooler. It is from the H150i series, which basically means it's a 360mm radiator. But this is their Elite Capalex version. So just another AIO from Corsair. I don't know how many they've got now, but this is yet another model. Since I'm going to feature this probably in a build relatively soon, I'm not going to take this one out of the box. So we've got this. It'll be in a build soon. I'll probably talk more about it then. I think we'll probably just move on to the rest of the stuff we've got to look at. All right, little, well, it's not even a box, is it? It's a little plastic bag with what seems to be a box inside. Obviously, it's not very fragile, or they probably would have put it in a box. But anyway, I suppose I'll cut this bag off and we'll have a look. Okay, this is the Kingston HyperX Cloud Stinger Core wireless headset. Don't actually know how much this is meant to cost in Australia yet, but it is only $80 US, and you can get that on Amazon, Newegg, and all those places. I'll probably provide some links in the video description. But basically, this is an affordable sort of budget wireless headset. $80 US is very cheap for a wireless headset. So we'll take it out and have a look at it and see what the deal is. For those who aren't familiar with this series, we're not doing any technical looks at products or any product reviews or anything like that. It's sort of just a fun little episode series where I can show you what we've got coming in and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to tell you how these sound yet, but generally I try to use all this stuff and report back in the next episode how it sort of goes. The design and shape reminds me of the Corsair Void headset, but obviously this feels a lot cheaper because it's all very plasticky and stuff, because, you know, it is only $80 US. So USB dongle, USB audio, so you plug that into your USB port on your whatever device, PC, laptop, I guess Mac maybe. I'm not even going to bother checking, who cares. But yeah, PC, plug that in and it will work. Got a bit of plastic on here, I guess I'll peel that off. Alright, well that was probably the least satisfying plastic peel I've come across, but anyway, we got there in the end. I'm not even going to bother with the other side, that was too much work. So, USB Type-C, at least at the end that goes in your headset, so you would use that to charge them. What else have we got here? Volume wheel, which is notched, and then a power button. So actually quite similar to the Corsair Void headset. So the boom, flexible boom, I really like that. These ones are probably one of the sort of better designs. And then when you flick it all the way up, it automatically mutes the mic. So that's really handy as well. I like that. There's no buttons that you accidentally push and you're talking away to your teammates and don't realize you're muted until they don't respond for half an hour. They're extremely light, which I suppose, I mean, that's a good thing, really. They seem to hug my head really well. My ears seem to fit in the cups really well. It's hard to tell, though. You sort of need to use them for over an hour. But on initial impressions, they do seem very comfortable. Nothing weird about them. And they definitely hug my head a lot better than the Corsair Voids do. They're quite a bit heavier and they wobble around all over the place. That's probably the only thing I don't like about them. Stainless steel headband, obviously adjustable, so if you have a bigger head than mine, you can adjust them. They don't feel super durable. They advertise them as being durable, and perhaps they are, but the all plastic design obviously gives them a sort of a cheap feel where they don't feel like they are that durable or going to be that comfortable. They are quite comfortable, and they possibly will survive a bit of a beating. But as I said, $80 US, so it'll be interesting to see what stuff like the mic quality is like, and obviously the audio quality from the cans themselves. But anyway, that is the Stinger Wireless, or the Stinger Core Wireless. Okay, next box here. Just a little fella, this one, so it's very rattly. Hopefully nothing in here is too fragile, but it feels like there's a few things moving around. Don't actually know what we've got here. Okay. Minix, I think, is the brand. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that right. Next generation computing. Okay, so it looks like some sort of power brick type thing there. 100-watt turbo 4-port charger. Let's just have a look at one of them, because I'm pretty certain they're both exactly the same product. They've got the same part number and serial and all that, so probably the same. Uh-oh. I got it back and it's unimportant. It's just part of the packaging. Okay, so you get these cool little suede type feeling bags. Cool. All right, here's the star of the show. And we've got an AU connector, which is good. So I think that should pop in. There we go. So that would go in PowerPoint. And we have 2 USB Type-Cs and 2 Type-A's. Let's have a look at some of the specs. So the USB Type-Cs, they provide 100 watts max capacity. So that's universal turbo fast charging. So I suppose if your device supports fast charging, that will be enabled. And then the Type-A's, quick charge max 18 watt. So I suppose that would be for possibly phones and stuff, and then tablets would go on the USB Type-Cs. Powered by the latest gallium nitride technology. 4-port charger delivers ultra-fast charging speeds in a smaller form factor design compared to traditional silicon-based chargers. I couldn't actually find any pricing information on this, so I don't actually know how much it costs, but it is the Neo P2, so yeah, it's available in the US, EU, and Australia. So I've got 2 of those. Now, this thing here appears to be the star of the show. So this is pretty cool, and I imagine this is something laptop users are probably going to want to have in their arsenal. So it appears to be I'll open it up actually, it appears to be a USB Type-C SSD. So high-speed portable storage, which I've got a few of those things. They're super awesome. Plug in your computer into a USB port supporting the appropriate speeds, and you can copy very large files very quickly. So that's obviously very cool. So this one here, if I can get out the swanky looking Type-C cable, extremely light. It's virtually weightless, this thing. So you plug that in, that goes to your computer, and this particular model is a 480 gigabyte SSD. There's also 960 gigabyte versions. This particular version here costs $130 US. Again, not sure how much it costs in the US. And I didn't check the price for the 960 gigabyte version, but you could probably close to double that, and that would get you in the ballpark, I'd imagine. So around $260 US probably. But anyway, $130 US for this, and it has a 480 gigabyte SSD, which they say is good for 400 megabytes per second read and write speeds. So that seems pretty solid for a USB external device, but if you'll notice, it has many connectors on the side here, which you don't normally, even a RJ45, you don't normally find those on portable SSDs. And that's because this thing is if I can find the right box, it is a USB-C multi-port SSD storage hub with gigabit Ethernet plus 4K at 60 Hz HDMI multi-OS support. So it supports displays. So there's no real product name there, but it is the Neo SG4GR. But really, really handy little device here, especially as I said for laptop users, because you've got about half a gigabyte of storage here, high-speed storage, USB Type-C for USB hub type thing, 2 Type-A's. So obviously laptops don't often, especially sort of ultra portable things, don't have a heap of USB ports. So that adds 3 USB ports there, which is very handy, as I said. You get an HDMI output, which can support a 4K 60 Hz display. So that's very cool. And then you get gigabit Ethernet. So yeah, if you don't have, I guess a lot of new ultra portable slim laptops, again, I'm not super familiar with this stuff, so but I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on this one. They don't have the RJ45 ports on them anymore. They just use wireless. So if you do want high speed or higher speed networking through a wired solution, you can go through this, and that'll certainly support gigabit speeds because, well, it's supposed to do 400 megabytes per second from the SSD, and this will only be doing about 100 megabytes per second at peak or thereabouts. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's a pretty good price, really, $130 US for this. It adds a lot more I/O connectivity and stuff to your laptop. Pretty neat little device. I'll have to give this a go on my desktop PC because I don't really use laptops that often. But that's cool. Additionally, or alternatively, I should say, if you don't really want to pay for the 480 gigabyte SSD or just the SSD component, you can get pretty much the same device without that, but with a card reader, which is actually super useful for me because I'm always having card readers fail or just, yeah, card readers are the worst things ever. So it'll be interesting to see how reliable this is, and I'll definitely be using it. So SD card reader there. Again, USB ports, Type-C here, and the HDMI. So again, this supports the 4K 60Hz HDMI display if you want to, again, connect that to a laptop or whatever, and extra USB ports. But personally, I'm very interested in the SD card reader. Again, not quite sure how much this is, but it'll be, I would say, quite a bit cheaper than the SD version. So, but you get the card reader as a bonus. And a good card reader, they can be quite expensive and difficult to find. I've gone through many different models from lots of the well-known brands, and they all have various problems or they fail before long. I don't know why I'm so unlucky with card readers. Very strange. And then this here is the exact same product, but it is the silver version, and this one is the grey version. So apparently that's grey and that's silver. So there is a subtle difference there. That one is certainly silver and that one is certainly greyer. But yeah, I mean, either of them work for me. They're so close it doesn't matter. Anyway, pretty cool product. Again, I'll check out the card reader on this, and I'll probably report back either with a pinned comment or in the next episode of Unboxing Boxes to let you know what my experience was with this card reader, whether it drops out, has errors, whatever, or if it's really reliable. So anyway, I got 2 of those, so I'll probably use both of them because I have many, many SD cards. And then just lastly, what have we got here? USB Type-C multi-port SSD storage hub for Apple MacBook Air and Apple MacBook Pro. Oh. It's a 960 gigabyte SSD they've sent me as well, but it's for Apple only. So yeah, let's move on to the next box. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well for time. We're about halfway through the boxes and things we have. Again, another product that isn't in a box, but it's in one of these bags. So I guess we'll open this up and see what we have here. It does look very suspiciously keyboard shaped, so probably going to be a keyboard, I think. I don't know what other items I've received or opened that are this shape. I don't know if there's been anything that hasn't been a keyboard. And, as expected, this is indeed a keyboard. And this is a keyboard I've actually been very excited to get my hands on because for the last year or so, not quite sure on the time frame, but at least a year, I've been using the Kingston HyperX Alloy Elite. So the original version of this guy, red backlit keys. It's red or brown switches, can't remember, but great keyboard, really like it. I've, over the last year or so, attempted to replace it with other keyboards from the likes of Corsair and Logitech and that, and I just keep going back to this because, I don't know, I just like the feel of it. There's something about it, I just really like the original, so I'm hoping the Elite 2 is just as whatever it is that I find appealing. So the only disappointing thing I've noticed right away is that this doesn't have the wrist rest that the original came with. I don't know if there's a version that comes with one for the Alloy 2. You would think so. It's possible the wrist rest from the original is compatible with this because it physically appears to be the same keyboard. I don't have the one up on my editing rig here, obviously, but it all feels very familiar. The keycaps have, I think they've changed a bit. They seem a bit more, not as harsh, which I got used to the other ones, but I think maybe these are a bit better. The edges of them are a little smoother, let's say. But the weird thing about it is, obviously, the keycaps are very white underneath. And that's obviously to let through the RGB lighting. But yeah, USB pass-through, so that's the same as the original model. It all seems very similar to the original. I'm not actually sure what the differences are. The media keys here are now grey, whereas I'm pretty sure they're black on my one. That's how I remember them anyway. I was using it this morning, but I don't really pay that much attention. Of course, it's got the alloy backplate, which gives it all its strength. It's very rigid. But yeah, I've loved the original, highly recommend it. It's worked flawlessly for me. And yeah, as I said, I've tried replacing it with a few other keyboards and just haven't liked the feel as much. So I use it for both gaming and for professional work, if you can call what I do professional. But yeah, I use it for work and play, and it's been great. Not much more to say about this one. Obviously, I will go and plug this in straight away. I'll probably edit this episode of Unboxing Boxes while using this keyboard. But this particular model is coming in at $130 US, which seems quite reasonable. Or $180 Australian, or it starts at 180 Australian. The pricing's sort of all over the place in Australia, so not sure what's going on there. But you can buy it. It is in stock for $180 Australian, which again, I think is very, very reasonable, especially given the US price. So anyway, very cool keyboard. I'm gonna plug it in and I expect it to be pretty awesome like the one I currently have. All right, this is the biggest and heaviest box that I have. I'll cut it open here and then I'll try and pull this off. So let's see, here we go. Okay, we managed to do that. What are you seeing? Oh, okay. Oh, I know what this is all about. I totally forgot I had this stuff. Oh, wow, okay. This might be more than I ordered. Okay. Alright, we're getting there. Oh. Okay, let me sort this out. So we've got some stuff. So I'll explain what's going on here. Well, no, I shouldn't say every year. For, I think it was 2018, I can't even remember. In previous years, I have done a how much RAM do you need for gaming type content piece around December. And I didn't do it last year because it didn't really seem to make sense. Not much had changed, and we were also absolutely flat out with tons of other content. And it does take quite a lot of time and effort to do this properly, do the content justice, so I skipped it. Anyway, I thought it's been 2 years now since I've done this content, so this December I was going to do another how much RAM do gamers need. Look at a whole heap of new games. Obviously we've got Cyberpunk coming up, so I want to include that and whatever other new games we've got. So I reached out to ADATA because one of the hard things about doing this is you need obviously memory of the same specification but different densities, so different capacities, and it gets a bit tricky with mixing and matching modules. For example, if you want to test 32 gigabytes of RAM, using two 16 gigabyte kits will lead you to believe that it's faster because you've gone from running single rank memory to dual rank memory. So any performance uptick there you're measuring probably or possibly isn't due to the memory capacity, but rather the fact that you've gone from single rank operation to dual rank operation. Now this is different to single channel and dual channel memory, totally different thing. But generally speaking, dual rank configurations will offer a bit more performance, and sometimes a lot more performance depending on the game and how it works with the memory. So I wanted to be able to test 32 gigabytes of memory versus 16 gigabytes of memory with all things being equal. So here I have a 16 gigabyte, well, it's actually not a 16 gigabyte kit, so it's a bit misleading here. It's a 32 gigabyte kit using two 16 gigabyte modules. So DDR4 3600, it's the Spectrix D50 stuff, and it's CL182020. So nothing crazy, but it'll work perfectly because this is also CL182020. It should have the same secondary and tertiary timings, but I'll make sure of that when I do the content. And then this is a 16 gigabyte kit using two 8 gigabyte sticks. So that allows us to neutralize all the differences, and basically all we're testing between these two kits is the capacity difference. So anyway, I'll explain this a lot better in my video covering this. But yes, that should be quite interesting. And I'll probably provide an 8 gigabyte kit as well, or an 8 gigabyte configuration, but we already know 8 gigabytes is suboptimal for gaming these days. For the latest and greatest titles, you really want at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. How useful 32 gigabytes is will probably depend on the game. I'm expecting there'll be few games that call for that much memory, but there's a whole heap of other factors as well. So we explore all of those in that content. So that's why ADATA has sent this memory over, because they were wanting to help with that content coming up probably around December. They also said we have a heap of other new cool products. Would you like to have a look at those as well? Not review them or anything, but feature them in builds or maybe even in that video. So make a system to test the memory. So they've sent over some of their prime ARGB LED strips, so addressable RGB memory lighting strips. So pretty cool. I'll probably give that a go. We also have their extension cable stuff. So these are for VGA cables, and this is for the motherboard cables. So RGB LED cables. I think Lian Li started that. ADATA's now doing it. So that'll be interesting to check out. We also have their new Core Reactor 850 watt power supply. So that's a good capacity power supply for a high-end system. And their new Levante 240 addressable RGB CPU cooler. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but anyway, it looks like it's a 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler. So that's pretty handy as well. Anyway, that's the ADATA stuff, and we'll move on. All right, second last box. What do we have here? What have we got? Oh, okay. This might be a bit confusing at first. Some TRX 40 motherboards that we've actually already looked at on the channel. But these ones, which I'm not going to open because of reasons I'm about to explain, these are for a live stream build Tim and I are planning on doing around December frame time as well. So leading up to Christmas, we planned on doing this the other end of the year, the opposite end, like the January, February sort of end of the year, which is long gone now. So the plan was to do a live stream build. AMD provided two Threadripper 3970X CPUs, so the 32 core CPUs. It's like 8,000 Australian dollars worth of CPUs, so big thank you to AMD. But they provided them many, many, many months ago. Earlier in the year, we had the whole COVID thing happen. Our state went into lockdown, so Tim and I couldn't visit each other. And then we went out of lockdown briefly, but it still wasn't recommended that we see each other, so we didn't. And then a whole thing happened, and it's been an absolute mess locally. Well, it still is. So I'm not sure if Tim and I are allowed to see each other now. Not sure. Maybe next month we'll be able to. We're hoping by December that we can meet up and finally do our live stream build, which will probably be multiple live streams spanning a couple of days, where we build dream editing rigs. So Tim's, I think he's using a 3950X, which he's really happy with. I'm using a Threadripper CPU already because I couldn't wait, but it's a bit of a hodgepodge kind of thing that I slapped together in seconds, so it'd be nice to build a proper computer. So we've got cases, power supplies, memory, motherboard, CPUs, graphics cards, the whole lot. And Tim and I are going to jump on a live stream together at Tim's studio and build these computers. And these are the motherboards. So we've got a Prime and an ROG Strix. So we'll probably do some sort of random sort of raffle where we just randomly pick these boards and whoever gets what, because we've got different cases and stuff like that. Anyway, that's all these are for. So thank you to Asus for providing these. And hopefully we can do that live stream soon, because Tim and I are both dying to do it. It'll be a whole lot of fun. You guys can watch it live. We'll be answering comments while we go, and it'll probably span at least 3 hours, and then we'll do another one the following day for probably about the same period of time. Anyway, that's that. Something to look forward to later this year. And the lucky last package here is a solid sort of feeling package. We'll get this one out of the way and wrap this up. So it looks like we've got a mouse pad, a JBL Quantum mouse pad. That might be a hint as to what's in here. We've got, it looks like a t-shirt. Sound is survival. Yeah, that is true, depending on the game you're playing. And another box here with yet another box. Okay. So we've got some energy drink, berry energy drinks, cool. A badge, yep. A pen, a USB thumb drive of unknown size, a thing, and some more things. Okay, so that's what was in the black box, but I think the star of the show is probably what's in here. Okay, so this opens up. So if you haven't guessed by now, this is the JBL Quantum 1 headset. I was meant to get these many months ago, but as has been the case with a lot of products this year, they were heavily delayed. So this is their JBL's latest and greatest. Oh, okay, bear with me for one. Actually, that might not be the smartest way to do that. I think this would be a safer way of doing it. So this is JBL's latest and greatest flagship headset. The Quantum 1 is not a wireless headset. For that, I think you need the 800s. The 800s, the Quantum 800s are wireless. All right, we've got that out. So these things have a heap of LED lighting. Again, I'll probably have to provide some B-roll to show you that. We've got a nice big volume wheel here. That goes to the headset. That would go to your PC. So you plug that in down here. It also supports 3.5mm audio jacks. They're yeah, they are surprisingly light. I mean, they're pretty typical, similar to the Logitech X. Where's the box of that? The Pro X. I'm using those at the moment. They're very good. Holds on pretty good. Very comfortable. As I said, though, you sort of have to use them for an hour or so to get an idea of how comfortable they are. But I can't feel any obvious pinch points. Yeah, the build quality on these feels, or seems very high. Feels excellent. But yeah, these are obviously a headset I'm really going to have to try out, and I plan on doing that right away. And I'll report back as to how well they sound. There's probably plenty of reviews available at this point, because as I said, we were meant to get these quite some time ago. They were heavily delayed. For those of you wondering, $250 US, which I think is a reasonable price over in the US, but that translates somehow to $500 Australian, which is very pricey, but that's how things seem to happen over here in Australia. But yeah, $250 US seems very reasonable. If you want a wireless headset, you have to go with the Quantum 800s, which is the model down, so the second best headset in the Quantum range. And I think they're $200 US or about $350 Australian. So a bit more reasonable. I'm not sure how they differ in terms of sound quality and mic quality and all that. But anyway, not much more I can say on these. They look very impressive. They feel very high quality, but obviously I'll have to plug them into my PC, and I'll probably use them to edit this video, and then I might play some games tonight with them and see how they go. Apparently there's a whole heap of RGB lighting effects on them as well, so they look pretty plain and simple right now, but I think when they're plugged in they look quite impressive. But anyway, that is the Quantum ones so far. Obviously, as I said, I can't say too much more at this point. But I probably should wrap this one up, because I've got to go start testing RTX 3080 and 3090 graphics cards. I want to test out that new Alloy Elite 2 keyboard, test these out. I'll probably test out the budget headset at some point. And the ADATA stuff I'll get to at a later date, because that'll be around December that we'll do that memory capacity content, and that should be very interesting. But anyway, hopefully that has satisfied those of you who have been begging me for an unboxing boxes episode. We did have quite a bit to go through this time. I was quite surprised. I didn't realize how many things had been building up. But anyway, that is going to do it. So thank you very much for watching. I'm your host, Steve, and I'll see you again next time.